Today, my friends over at Garrison Brothers sent me 4 different bourbons to try, and we're going to dive into all 4 of them here. Let's get into it. Hello everyone, welcome back to Brad's Bourbon Reviews. I'm Brad, and today I am very excited about this. Let's address the elephant in the room. In the bourbon community, Texas bourbon is very divisive. It's either a love it or you hate it kind of thing. I have always been on the side of I love it. I love the bold, rich flavors. I love everything. Garrison Brothers is one of my favorite Texas bourbon brands. I love them. I love Balcones. I love Still Austin. They're all incredible bourbons. But Garrison, you won my heart. You sent me a lot of cool stuff, and I cannot wait to get into these. We're going to go through them in proof order, and we have 4 different things to get through here. First one we're going to do here is the Garrison Brothers Small Batch. This is their base level or entry level bottle here. I love Garrison Brothers Small Batch. They are fantastic in my opinion. And that'll be the one we dive into first. And then going in proof order, we have the Garrison Brother PX coming in at 109 proof. And I will give details about each one of these when we go to taste them. Then we have Garrison Brothers Oloroso coming in at 110 proof. And then the one that I'm most excited to try because I've heard great things about this one, the Garrison Brothers Balmorhea coming in at 115 proof. So we have a lot to drink today. So let's go ahead, get these in Glens. Let's see how we feel. One thing I am going to do is I'm going to take a minute to open all of these. I'm going to get them all in Glens, and then we'll go from there. And these are fresh cracks on all these. I have not tried these yet. And I believe, at least from memory, the only one I've ever had is the Garrison Small Batch. So I'm very excited. I have had the honeydew before, which I really like too. All right, friends, we got a nice little flight here out of frame. They are going to be going from this way to this way with small batch in proof order up to the Balmorhea. So let's go ahead and get into the small batch. This is, again, the one I've had, I mean, a ton, especially recently. I love small batch from Garrison Brothers. The thing I love about Texas bourbon is, like, I kind of feel like Texas bourbon, in some cases, can be like Scotch, where you get these like crazy rich flavors, but it's more or less low proof. Like, this is a Garrison small batch coming in at 94 proof, and the aromas just on this, not to mention flavor, but just the nose on this is like the kind of nose you would get on like 110, 115 proof bourbon. Like, it is so over its proof point. And there's no ethanol burn, which is great. It's very leathery, which again, for a 94 proof, that's kind of unheard of. Very sweet, very oaky. I freaking love small batch. I really do. It's got a very, very great nose for a 94 proof. Like, it's like straight down the line of what I think is a great nose. Dark cherry note on there too. It's just excellent. Let's give it a mouthing and let's see how we feel. More burn on the palate than on the nose for sure. But, like, again, you get those like very, very rich notes. Very oaky on the palate, very leather, and a little drying. And then on the finish is that very sweet cherry note. Like, it's great. It just really is great. I love Garrison Small Batch. And I love that, like, the finish kind of alternates between sweet and bitter. It's great. Very char heavy. If you don't like char, you probably won't like that. All right, let's move on to the next one here. This is one I've never had before. I'm very excited to try this. Oh, shit. They sent these cool little cards. I'm going to read these to you here. I'm not going to read the tasting notes on the bottom because I don't want to. I saw notes of chocolate. I'm not reading past that. PX Sherry Cask finish is rich, sweet, and remarkably textured with a spectacular mouthfeel. Shaped by 4 years in Pedro Jimenez Sherry Cask. I don't know if I said that right or not, but I am very much looking forward to the PX. I'm really looking forward to all these because finishing these could be so unique because, like I said, you have this base product that's very distinct and very different and very char heavy and like little bits of sweetness here and there, but like having something with like sherry in this could like just change. I'm so excited to try this. Let's give it a nosing and let's see how we feel. It's chocolate all day. It's one thing I pick up on. I was looking at this because I was about to say plum, and I wanted to see if that was a note that was on there, but they say fig, which I kind of get that too. I could see that as well. Little jammy fruit. Me and my basic bitch palate, I would have said like jam or something to that level, or like I said, plum. I was kind of thinking, but I could see fig. I definitely see caramel in here, and that's listed on the tasting notes as well. But that is like predominant. It's like chocolate, caramel, and fig. Actually, now that it says fig, it's like fig Newton because of the sweetness on there too. They are just crushing it over there. And this is a pretty significant jump in proof. We went from 94 proof here to 109 on the PX. So let's give it a mouthing and let's see how we feel. By the way, no ethanol burn again on the nose here. Just zero. Just an absolutely lights out nose. Let's give it a mouthing and let's see how we feel. Whoa, the second that hit my tongue, it was like just an explosion of flavor. I don't know if I've ever had a bourbon that had that much flavor in it. I mean, that was almost intense. Now, I don't know if I love every flavor that's in that. I'm going to try it again. There's almost like a burnt rubber note at on the end of it, or like in the mid palate that I don't care for. But if that wasn't there, I think that would be like really good. But it is there. So yeah, the char turns into like acrid bitterness there. I'm not huge on, I don't dislike it, and I would buy one of these, just full disclosure. It's not my favorite so far. I prefer the small batch to that one. I'm trying to get past that note, and I'm wondering if it's like a palate acclimation thing, which is why I'm taking so many sips of this to see if it like my palate acclimates to that, whatever that note is that I'm not a huge fan of. Okay, yeah, it's kind of gone away a little bit. And then it leaves just it's still very char heavy, which I like. And it's still that, like, to me, that leathery note. Have you ever had the natural fruit roll up? I get like that kind of a fruit note. I don't know what they're called. Fruit leather. That's what it's called. It's called fruit leather. I get like a fruit leather note on this. It's not any like particular fruit I can describe, but like that's the kind of the vibe I get off this. And I will say, after quite a few sips, that burnt note kind of goes away, but it's like burnt peanut shell is kind of what I'm saying. I said burnt rubber at the beginning, but I think burnt peanut shell is a more accurate note. All right, that's okay. It's not my favorite. Let's see if we can move on to something that I like a little bit more. I am really 50-50 on Oloroso finishing. It's not my favorite finish, but sometimes it will surprise you, and I have a feeling this one's going to surprise me. So this is the Oloroso Sherry Cask finish, coming in at 110 proof. The note says Oloroso Sherry Cask finish is complex, deep, and layered. Shaped by 4 years in Oloroso Sherry Cask after 4 years in new toasted and charred white American oak. So it spent 8 years accumulative in the barrel. With finishing, you cannot add those together, so it is still a 4-year bourbon. All right, haven't read the tasting notes yet. Let's see what we get. Let's give it a nosing and let's see how we feel. Ooh, this one's nutty. This reminds me of like a very elevated Jim Beam, but it smells like walnuts or something, like warm toasted nuts. It's kind of all I'm getting, but it's really nice. And again, no ethanol burn on the nose whatsoever here. I may have found my Christmas bourbon for 2026. Every year, I try to find a bottle that I drink during the holidays, and I think I found it, because this just reminds me of Christmas. There's some baking spice in there. You could actually probably fool me and tell me this was a rye, and I would probably believe you just based on the nose. I don't get like the earthiness that I get in a lot of ryes, but like those warm kind of notes that I get in rye, I'm picking up here. The nose on that is like freaking perfect. All right, let's give this one a mouthing, and let's see how I feel. That is absolutely delicious. I am surprised by how much I like this. I really didn't think that Texas bourbon would work with Oloroso Sherry for me because I don't love it. This is amazing. This is absolutely incredible. I am going to enjoy the hell out of this. I have no critiques on this. If I had to pull one critique, I would say it's kind of simple in the fact that it's like 1 or 2 notes, but those 1 or 2 notes are so good that like I don't care. Of course, everyone loves a nice complex bourbon with like 5 notes, but like this one is, it's walnut, some baking spice, and again, like a kind of a fruity jam kind of note. There is nothing to not like here. So far, this is by far and away my winner. I adore that. All right, let's move on to the Balmorhea, coming in at 115 proof. Homegrown and handmade Garrison Brothers Texas straight bourbon whiskey, aged for 4 years in a new American white oak barrel, just like every other bourbon, and then another year in a new American white oak barrel. So this is just the Balmorhea is just a double oaked. This, I'll be honest, could go sideways, because double oaking for me, what I like in a double oaked is I like it to be sweet and rich, and I think that their base is already that. And I feel like you could go into very char heavy where it's unpleasant with this Texas bourbon. So let's see if I'm wrong. I'm wrong on the nose. I get molasses. Let's see what the notes say here. Bourbon candy. Yes. Frozen fudge-sickle bars. Ooh, it's a very distinct note. Amaretto coffee, sticky buns, and pecan brittle, thick white chocolate syrup. I get white chocolate for sure. I don't get the frozen fudge-sickle bars. I get coffee for sure. I would say molasses too. That's my note there. Let's give this a mouthing and let's see how we feel. The nose is better than the palate for me. That being said, the nose is like perfect. So the noses on all these are just fantastic. This one is okay. To me, it does go a little too char. I was hoping to pick up on some more of those chocolate notes. However, for me, it turned into coffee and like bitter oak. I'm going to do another palate acclimation, few sips here before I comment on it again. I get pecan on the palate a lot. So I've had a few sips now. The char is like turning into coffee and like chocolate coffee. Again, the more I'm drinking it, the more I'm liking it. I think it's really good. I still think it's probably third place for me. The clear winner for me is the Oloroso Sherry Cask finish. I mean, that is something I'm going to go seek out and purchase immediately. That is one of my favorite things I've had this year. But so in first place for me is the Oloroso Sherry. In second place is going to be, I'll give second place to the small batch. I think the small batch is like just an exceptional small batch, especially for how low proof it is. Third place, I'll give to the Balmorhea. And then last place for me is going to be the PX Sherry Cask. Just not my jam, not my thing. I like it okay. I wouldn't buy that one. All the other ones I would absolutely buy. I would buy a Balmorhea for sure. I like how rich all of these are. If you are new to bourbon, Texas bourbon is not going to taste like your standard Buffalo Trace. It is going to be a completely different experience, and make sure you know that going into it so you can kind of adjust your expectations for what it is. I'd recommend every bourbon drinker try this lineup because I think there's something there for everybody. Palate preferences are palate preferences. I either like something or I don't, and I can't help that. Thank you very much to Garrison for sending this to me. I believe they do single barrel picks. I got to come to Texas and do a single barrel pick. Go grab Garrison. It's fantastic. Go grab the friggin' Oloroso. It's incredible. Comment down below. Let me know if you like Texas bourbon and or Garrison Brothers while you're down there. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe. I will see you guys on the next one. Until then, cheers. A big thank you to all the Patreon supporters you see on screen right now.